It's May the 14th, and welcome to Morning Message. A couple of evenings ago, there was a documentary on TV about Gary Marshall. Gary Marshall was a writer, producer, director of TV and movies, and perhaps is best known for such hits as Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Mork and Mindy. It was an interesting documentary, and during the documentary I was thinking about those three TV shows particularly because they were so popular when I was a teenager, and it was the sort of thing that we talked about in school the next day. It got kind of tiresome with Mork and Mindy, everybody doing Mork jokes, the same ones we had all seen on TV the night before. But they were hugely popular shows, and of course one of the standout characters in Happy Days was Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonz. And even back then I used to wonder what made Fonzie so cool, because he had a lot of externals that kind of indicated a level of coolness that was far beyond me, and they weren't things that I thought of as particularly cool. You know, a motorcycle, leather jacket, perfect hair. I mean, my hair was a mess back then. Snapping his fingers and the girls come running. None of that seemed particularly cool. Okay, hitting a jukebox and having the music start, that was kind of cool. But it wasn't something I aspired to or ever thought that I'd be able to do myself. So I used to wonder what actually makes the Fonz cool for me. And it wasn't any of those externals. What intrigued me about that character was his level of honesty, his integrity, the fact that he didn't change for the people that were around him. He spoke to Richie, he spoke to Al, or whoever happened to own the restaurant that season, and he spoke to Mrs. Cunningham, all in the same way. He was always the Fonz in all of those circumstances. And that kind of integrity, being so sure of yourself, to be in all of those situations and talk with people as yourself, rather than trying to pretend to be something you're not. I think that is what made the Fonz cool for me. And I suppose to some extent, Richie Cunningham was the same. He had a level of cool as well. I mean, he was an awkward teenager. That was the character. And but he was awkward in every situation. It didn't matter who he was talking with. And so in that sense, he was also very cool. I think the expectation that God has of what God created is that we be who we were intended to be. In other words, we find our inner Fonzie. We find our inner cool. We find that level of integrity so that whatever situation we find ourselves in, we are exactly who we were meant to be. And of course, there's guidance around this. There's the way that Jesus behaved in the world. I've said before that one of the reasons I think that the apostles recognized the risen Lord is because he said things and behaved in ways that matched who they knew before the crucifixion. So Scripture is a great guidance. And of course, we have that wonderful quote from Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, that we are to act justly, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with God. This is what it means to access our inner Fonzie, to access our inner cool, to achieve those things that we were meant to achieve, to be that person that we were meant to be. And I'm not saying it's easy to do that and that it's easy to bring that to every situation, but that's our goal. We have one another to help us on this journey. We help one another to figure out who our inner Fonzie is, because it has nothing to do with leather jackets and motorbikes or hitting jukeboxes and have them come on. It has everything to do with acting justly, love, kindness, and to walk humbly with God. And that's my hope and prayer for you today, that you somehow manage to access your inner Fonzie, your inner Cool, your inner Richie Cunningham, whoever you are, that you access that and feel that sense of cool, that sense of confidence, that sense of trust that comes from a knowledge that God does indeed love all that God created. So my hope and prayer for everyone today is that you access your inner Cool, your inner Fonzie, and that you continue to feel God's blessing and presence in your life. Amen.